Welcome back, video creeps. It is Scream Day, or at least it was when I recorded this. Your boy wasted no time. I know the internet, so I caught the earliest screening that I could, and now I have a review of the movie Scream 2022. So let's get into all the dirty little details and see what happened with this movie, and ultimately figure out if I thought this was a great movie or if I thought this straight up sucked. Okay, so first things first, I am a basic bitch. When I go to a movie theater, I want to see previews. I'm gonna get there early because I want to watch the previews. It's a great way for me to learn about horror movies that I may have not heard about and stuff. It's important. But I got no horror trailers for this movie. It was the weird. I know what Jennifer Lopez is up to now and Sandra Bullock. Though I did see that preview for that movie Studio 666 with the Foo Fighters. That was pretty cool. I'm gonna watch that. Now we get that opening that we knew that we were gonna get with Jenna Ortega doing the classic Scream opening where someone calls and it's like, let's play a game. So it hooked me right away with the nostalgia. It got me. And then I knew that one of the characters was gonna be named Wes, but just seeing her text somebody talking and then you see the name Wes pop up, it's just kind of like,
my heart.
And then of course, in true opening Scream fashion, we get that phone call. We knew that Roger Jackson was gonna be reprising his voice, but when you hear it, it feels good. And he's putting her through the whole thing, oh, what's your favorite scary movie? But even though she said the Babadook, which, okay, I know that movie has love. I know there's people who love it. I don't. That's why she fucking has to defend it and shit, because she knows that's not a popular opinion. But something that I really liked about this intro that I didn't really feel with some of the previous ones was that, was I the only one that thought that was a really intense game? There was something about the way that those questions were being asked, and maybe it was Jenna Ortega and just her talent, but bruh, I felt the weight in that scene, and that was only positive. That was a great way to start the movie. And sure, I know every single movie opens up with the game, but there was something a little different about this one. The other thing that's really cool that they established really early is them talking about Stu and talking about Billy Loomis. It's the question that she gets wrong, and then we got an awesome leg breaking scene and then knife through the hand. It immediately got me in that zone where I was like, is this gonna be brutal? Fucking Halloween Kills and shit? Is that what this Scream is gonna be? And I gotta say, it kind of was. There's a lot of things about this one that feels like that first Scream, they really captured something. Even when we first meet the group of friends that we're following in this thing, there's this weird thing that harkens back to part one. Maybe it's just seeing them sitting all around in front of the school together. I don't know what it was, but there was something really good feeling about this group of kids. But something that was different about these kids, and I think it's an important distinction, is that immediately these kids are already paranoid amongst themselves as to who the killer could be. And I think that really dates the film in a really great way, because it gives you this idea that Woodsboro has been through a fucking lot. This has happened countless times already. This is not old news for these people. So immediately it's weird because it's not this group of friends distrust each other, but they're all very aware that anyone could be the killer, which I thought was fucking really cool. Because all of the characters are really interesting. You got Wes, and then you got the twins. One of the twins is dating this other girl. And then we have Amber, who's best friends with Jenna Ortega. By the time that we reach that bar scene where that dickhead gets stabbed by Ghostface, you're so invested in these new characters in this Scream scenario that you almost forget that there's legacy characters that are gonna be a part of this film. Up until this point, you're not watching it waiting for them to come back or anything. You really do just enjoy and accept the world that they've built. Which, credit where credit is due, that means that you made a bunch of really likable characters. Now, Jenna Ortega's sister is Sam, and then of course one of the coolest things about Sam is that we find out that she is Billy Loomis'S daughter. But to take that a step further, they even bring back Steve Ulrich to reprise the role of Billy, a la like Dexter Deb vibes, like she's hallucinating him. I thought that was a really cool way for them to bring back Billy, and as soon as that happened, I was also like, fucking Stu is gonna show up now. They figured out how to fucking do it. I think that whole Sam being Billy Loomis'S biological daughter was an awesome tie-in for them to bring this story together, because now you have these new characters and it's looping in with the old characters. It's a wonderful way for them to merge those worlds together. I think that was a masterclass way to do it. But Billy is not the only returning character that we see, obviously, and up next would be Dewey. And Dewey is just fucked up. He's just like an alcoholic, haggard, old, retired cop now. And our reintroduction to him is kind of wonderful, because we see Sam and her boyfriend go up to him looking for help, and he just brings this level of like darkness and smart assery with like zero hesitation. He's like, who's this fucking dickhead? Like, do you know him? How well do you know him? And he starts spewing the rules, and it's this really fucking interesting scene. That's probably one of my favorite scenes in this movie. Just seeing Dewey just fucking tired of it all and just fucking, this is what, I'm giving you 2 minutes, I'm gonna tell you everything, and then you need to fuck off. It was great. It was another one of those things that I liked about this movie, is how they brought each legacy character back in. Sam wanting to enlist Dewey to help her out was a clever way to do that. And there's already like a meta thing with Scream where they kind of are aware that they're in a horror movie scenario. But I think the awareness in this film is what's really gripping about it. And of course, because they brought Dewey in, Dewey's gonna be the guy to call Sydney and bring her back in. And even though like we saw in the trailer, like I even remember saying in the trailer reaction,
do you have a gun?
I'm Sydney Prescott, of course I have a gun.
Something about this one just...
I should have felt more when I saw Sydney like that. I don't know, I didn't feel it. But I think paired up with watching the actual film, that scene was kind of emotional for me. You know, when you're like not crying, but like you get that fucking like that stupid feeling in your eye, like, yo, it could happen, bro. Seeing Dewey and Sydney Prescott speaking like that, and just the conversation that they were having, you feel the years of their friendship, the struggle that these characters have gone through and who they are now. And there's something really sad and like just a lot of feeling happening when that happened. I don't know, am I the only one who felt a little like weirdly almost choked up? As per every Scream film as well, they were able to bring in Randy. He is never forgotten in these movies, and they pay tribute to him in a beautiful way in the form of these two twins. And just the girl twin like kind of stole this movie for me. I loved that character so goddamn much. Like I said, I kind of enjoy all of the characters in this movie, but she was the standout that I really enjoyed. She knows all the horror movie references, which is just all across this film. Like there's so many references and so many times they bring up other horror movies. They know what audience is watching Scream 5, and I enjoyed it. We lose the character of Wes and Officer Hicks, who I think can be considered a legacy character now, right? I mean, she was in part 4 and shit. Losing her was sad, and then seeing her lose her son as well through that knife through the neck, wow. Seriously interesting stuff. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Though real is real, there's this part where right before Wes gets it, where like he's opening up a bunch of things and it's giving us that fake sound, like, oh, Ghostface is gonna be there. No, Ghostface is gonna be there. And like after a while, like, it gets a little tiring. But what was really interesting about that is how much for me it felt like I was watching like a Final Destination film. I don't know what it was, but there was just something about fucking Officer Hicks and Wes Hicks'S Death that just felt like a Final Destination film. I don't know. Let me know if you picked up on that, but I did. And not to blow past that either, like losing Officer Hicks, even though we only had her in one other movie and she was a little suspect in it, seeing her like laid up on the floor all stabbed up with that blood on her face, it was kind of like, oh, That's too bad. And then right from that, we flip right back to like legacy character stuff. We figure out why Gale and Dewey aren't together anymore. And again, that's, you feel it. They did such a good job with aging the legacy characters. So that way you feel the plight of everything that they've gone through. It doesn't feel like every time they're on screen, it's like, haha, remember these faces? It very much feels like, look, they're back at it again, these guys. They can't catch a break. This movie has that really nice balance about it that, like, you know, some horror sequels don't always nail. I gotta talk about Jenna Ortega and the hospital scene with her like wheeling around after the power goes out because Ghostface decides to go after her again. This was another like probably just a me pet peeve thing. But the power goes out and like it's dead. It's like she's the only person in that hospital. Say my imagination's gone or something, but like that's not how hospitals work. Power goes out, there's beeping, there's fucking people complaining. So I don't know what that quiet shit was about. But with all this commotion going on and Ghostface trying to kill Jenna Ortega, we end up losing Dewey in this process, which is, I'm not gonna lie, like it was sad to see Dewey go. But at the same time, it did feel like it was the right time for Dewey to die. And in his death, the killer like leans over and like guts him out the back. And the killer's just like, it was an honor to kill you. And in this moment is when you kind of clock the killer. Something else that I really liked at the climax of this movie was the fact that we end up at a house party. But it's not just any house, it is Randy Meeks's house, the same place that the events from part 1 went down in. Seeing Sidney Prescott have to go back to that house and seeing that shot with her standing in front of it like, son of a, this again? I love that. I love bringing old characters back to familiar places after a long amount of time, especially when there's a really interesting spin on why they're there. Now, this party is like the obligatory thing where it's kind of like, oh, you know, now this person dies and this person's hurt and this one's that. And then, of course, the gigantic reveal. How did I feel about the reveal? Like, fucking... You clock Amber almost at the beginning of the film with her weird like possessiveness over Jenna Ortega's character. I keep calling her that, but I know her name's Tara. But you see it, like you pick up on that right away. And then like, you know, at the hospital scene, that's another dead giveaway. But the thing that you don't really see coming is the boyfriend being the other person. Like this is another two killers situation. And they have their long monologue about how they wanted another like good movie. Like that's the whole goal here. And it's a classic third act. Like there's, you know, people are getting stabbed in the stomach and other people are getting shot and like there's a whole thing. Though I will say Amber's like the way that they take her out is the definition of shots fired. Like they shoot her and she gets set off. If that's not shots fired, what is? The way they killed the boyfriend too was really cool in my opinion. Like I like the fact that Sam tapped into her inner dark passenger in Skeet Ulrich. Like we get Billy Loomis and she just finds a knife and like stabs him like a billion times. It was cool. It was really nice to see. Does this set up for a Scream 6? It's totally possible. I do think the strength of these characters that were left alive could carry into something in the future. But I gotta tell you right now, I'm not like itching for another one or anything. Like I'm fully content with what I just got and like my Scream need is satiated. Overall, what did I think of the film? I thought the kills were really gnarly. My favorite kill being that Wes neck one where it kind of poked, that was just neat. I thought the film had awesome drama, not just with the legacy characters, but with the newer characters as well. And something that I think that this film really executed well was the awareness that the characters were able to portray. If I had to throw a negative in the hat just because no movie is perfect, once you clock the killer, I do think that this movie is kind of long from when you figure it out. Maybe you don't figure it out and then it's kind of like, oh, this is fun all the way through. But once I was wise to what was going on, there was kind of like, all right, let's wrap this thing up. I'm ready to go pee. But other than that, I really enjoyed Scream 2022, and ultimately I'm glad that it happened. I was worried about it, you know, fucking horror films in January, we all know the curse. And then for being the 5th film in a franchise, like this was as solid as it could get. But I want to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Did you think they nailed this? Do you think there was room for improvement? If so, what were those things? We got a wish list item here. We're gonna open it before we get out of here and see what's in this bad boy. I'm gonna open it all stupid. I got you, motherfucker. All right. Bruh. So this is absolutely gorgeous. This is from Capn Bootz, who knows damn well I am a massive Chucky fan. So this is I mean, look at this thing. This is vibrant. It's fucking dope. Thank you so much. For those of you guys who don't know, Capn Bootz is an awesome Twitch streamer who does awesome art streams and video game streams. I will leave a link to her stuff down in the description of this video. This is just, I can't wait to hang this in my house. Now, while you're down in the description of this video following Bootz, there's also a link to my Patreon down there, a link to my Twitch where you can catch me every Tuesday and Thursday playing video games, a link to my Video Creep merch, and of course, please do all the obligatory YouTube watching things, like the video, make sure you subscribe if you're new, and make sure your notification bell is on so that way you always know when I drop new stuff. That's gonna be it for this review. I will see you guys on the next video. Peace, Video Creeps.
Yeah, I got the COVID, you know it's true, but I'm still right here singing these songs to you, cause I love your support. You're my living proof that I could do anything so long as I have you. Rebecca Reviews and Corey Stew, Kyoko, Larry Sherman and Carwoman, Butcher's Grindhouse, Law X-Core, Michael Andrews, Grim Nan, Survivor's Guild, Flag Voorhees, Yo Adrienne, Little Lady Harley, and Giselle, Bittersweet Vegan, AL, Cindy Fowler, Rachel, Marie Prince, Gorehound, and Mandy, Capn Bootz, The Dark is Dark, Andy Be Damned, Mrs. Vallow, Russell, CC Simon, Burton Local Legends. I love you all. You guys are really spending all my love, all my heart just here for you, because that's what you do when you're my Patreon, baby. And I love you, drive me crazy. And I'm so damn glad that you're right here to support my channel. And I'm rubbing on my nipples while I sing these songs. Rubbing on my nipples while I sing these songs.